federal United States government had to assign collateral and security to their creditors as a condition of the loan. And since the federal United States didn't have any assets, they assigned the private property of their economic slaves, the US citizens, as collateral against the unpayable federal debts. They also pledged the unincorporated federal territories, national parks, forests, birth certificates, and non-profit organizations as collateral against the federal debt. All has already been transferred as payment to the international bankers. Unwittingly, America has returned to its pre-American Revolution feudal roots, whereby all land is held by a sovereign and the common people had no rights to hold allodial title to property. Once again, we the people are the tenants and sharecroppers renting our own property from a sovereign in the guise of the Federal Reserve Bank. We the people have exchanged one master for another. This has been going on for over 80 years. Without the informed knowledge of the American people, without a voice protesting loud enough. Now it's easy to grasp why America is fundamentally bankrupt. Why don't more people own their properties outright? Why are 90% of Americans mortgaged to the hilt and have little or no assets after all debts and liabilities have been paid? Why does it feel like you are working harder and harder and getting less and less? Why we are reaping what has been sown, and the results of our harvest is a painful bankruptcy and a foreclosure on American property, precious liberties, and a way of life. Few of our elected representatives in Washington, D.C. have dared to tell the truth. The federal state is bankrupt. Our children will inherit these unpayable debts and a tyranny to enforce paying it. America has become completely bankrupt in world leadership, financial credit, and its reputation for courage, vision, and human rights. This is an undeclared economic war, bankruptcy, and economic slavery for the most corrupt order. Now, how do you explain America having the highest COVID-19 deaths and deaths in history? Remedy. There must be a remedy. Since we are operating in commerce, the remedy must be found in the Uniform Commercial Code. Remember, number one, signing the application for a license is voluntary. You have the right to do these normal activities without such applications. Number two, the applications are for benefits and privileges and opportunities which justify the denial of your creator-given rights with which you were born, but which you transferred and were transferred upon birth registration. Number three, we cannot acquire true or allodial title to any property purchased with such applications. We must buy property in order to obtain legal title. This can be done only by exchanging your exemption for title. You cannot own property by paying for it. We cannot, lastly, pay our debts at law. We can only discharge our debts in equity. Advantages of filing a UCC/PPSA if you're in Canada, for instance. So when completing a UCC/PPSA financial statements, which is FS, keep in mind that the secured party, which is SP, must be a fiction, strawman, because only fictions can function in commerce. So the secured party claims the strawman debtor SD. Then this SD, which is a strawman debtor, signs over to the secured party, for which you, the living soul, are the agent, everything it owns via a private contract called a security agreement, SA. Do not file the security agreement. Only reference its number under general collateral on the FS, which is of course financial statement. The SA, which is the secure agreement, gives you the agent for the SP being the secured party, a superior claim over the SD, which is the strawman debtor, thereby removing you as surety for the strawman. The only way you can rebut their removing you as the only way, I beg your pardon, the only way you can rebut their presumption that you are surety is to notice them with a financial statement. Yet you cannot operate in commerce, so the strawman operates for you and files the financing statement. So it is the secured party which files the claim against the strawman debtor. Now, any charge against the strawman debtor can be discharged by you, the third party of interest, who now has a superior claim over all rights, titles, and interests of the strawman. The problem the registries have in filing these claims is that the strawman debtor and the secured party appear to be the same entity, since both are in uppercase. So be creative, come up with different spellings, or women can use a maiden name claiming the married name, or list minor children first in order to distract them from noticing the secured party is also listed amongst the debtors. You can notice them that the document is registered with Canada Post, or if you're in the UK, for instance, the Royal Mail. I am first in line, first in time. My records show they received it. Rather the same as my car, it is not registered, it is recorded. We are to notice, not request, our public servants to do our bidding. The financing statement is the one contract in the world which cannot be broken. Since we have unlimited credit with the Fed, we can access it through an account. We can and now control the funds, so the Feds will move figures, entries, and digits for our benefit, no longer for their benefit. By properly filing a financing statement, we can become the holder in due course, the strawman. And when we are charged, we can simply discharge the charge without tax exemption. This is commerce, not law. We simply accept the charge for value and return it for discharge, settlement, and closure. And since the claim is prepaid and our account at the Fed is exempt from levy, the alleged debt goes away. Sort of, at least until we have something with which to pay it. Since any control which any alleged authority has over you comes from your giving it, I suggest you never inadvertently grant jurisdiction to any court or any public entity. If a judge asks you, understand the traffic charge? So where the judge asks if you understand the traffic charge, for instance, the affirmative may be whether it could proceed until it proves that he had jurisdiction over you. It may have jurisdiction over the strawman, but you can be sure his astonishments towards you. Once we file a financing statement, we can discharge any public claim presented to us. If we honor the claim by accepting it, we can discharge it. If we dishonor the claim by resisting and fighting and ignoring and arguing, we create a controversy which must be taken into court for resolution. So therefore, when you see these letters come to post, you must be very quick to discharging them. Otherwise, you're going to create a controversy. Accepting doesn't mean acquiescing or acquiescing. It means we now control the offer. For instance, if you've paid the bank £15,000 on a vehicle you think you own and you get behind in the payments, the bank can take the car away from you because you don't own it. If you show a financing statement that you have invested £15,000 into the vehicle and then got behind in payments, the bank would have to pay you £15,000 before they take it. This is the reason why you need to collect as many receipts as you can collect. Get receipts from everywhere you go. If you find receipts belonging to many other things you've done, collect them. The reason you need to have as many receipts as possible, for instance, maybe you went to the shops, you picked things up, don't ignore the receipts. Every receipt is a currency in disguise. As many receipts as you have, as more opportunities you have to create wealth with it. From what I just mentioned, if you show on a financing statement, when you're doing your taxing, that you have invested